About sonar instruments. Sonar instruments are a fixed instrument that relies on sonar technology. It's really quite simple. It's no more than a fish finder. It could be as simple as a fish finder with a data logger and some type of telemetry that sends the signal back to the office. They're designed to provide continuous monitoring. With the data logger, they can log on every hour, take a measurement, turn themselves back off. The data can be telemetered, say, once a day or more frequently. The basic instrument we're going to talk about was developed under an NCHRP Research Project, Project 2103, that was specifically to develop better methods of fixed scour monitoring. And we went the simple route. It's based on a fish finder, and this is as developed at the time out of NCHRP Project 2103. Since then, technology has changed a little bit. You can get better fish finders. You can even get self-contained sonars that send a signal, a serial data signal, out without having the screen and all the things that are of interest, of course, to a fisherman. But you could make one this simple, that it involves a standard fish finder, a data logger, which is a green card at the back here, a battery to power it all, and let's lower the lid here, a solar panel to recharge the battery. This would be mounted on the bridge, up on the bridge deck, someplace where the solar panel is facing the sun. And in fact, there's a little bit of insight there. A lot of times when we install these on a bridge, the solar panel, the manufacturer will tell you to put it at a pretty flat angle to maximize the solar gain on the solar panel. Our experience has been, particularly on bridges where you have a lot of grit and grime and trash and leaves, you need to really put them a little steeper so that type of material washes off the solar panel. Otherwise, you don't get the gain that the manufacturer is promoting. The way this would work is the data logger would be programmed to tell the sonar to kick on, take a measurement, record that measurement, and then periodically in this instrument, as originally developed, an inspector would go out, hook up his laptop computer, and download the data. Since then, some of the newer, more recent installations in the last 5 years have relied almost exclusively on telemetry. And there's a variety of different types of telemetry. You can get cell phone, satellite, radio. We used to promote a lot of cell phone telemetry, but we found that the problems with cell phones, same problems you experience. If you're trying to make a call and there's a lot of people using the phone at the same time, you get all circuits busy or service not available. We were nervous that the same thing would happen with cell phone telemetry, because what's going to happen during the time of flood? You know, everybody's going to be calling mom or dad or brothers and sisters, checking up, seeing what's going on, and that's going to be a difficult, somewhat unreliable source of telemetry. So we've since promoted more satellite-based telemetry. Some of those systems are newer, they're getting more affordable. Some private companies doing that, it works pretty well. The other part of a sonar instrument is the transducer. You've got to have the transducer in the water, okay, just like if you're a fisherman on your boat, you've got to mount a sonar transducer on the hull of the boat somewhere that's connected into the actual sonar, the graphics, taking the soundings. And so with a fixed instrument, there are a variety of different ways you can mount the sonar on the bridge. But the first thing to know is it has to be underwater, right? And so this is going to be down underwater with a cable coming up to the bridge deck to this instrument shelter. The one that you're looking at is a model that we built and used mostly in tidal environments. It's all plastic. The actual piece that will be installed on the bridge is mostly the gray plastic. The white is just a stand for demonstration. So this would be strapped basically to the bridge pier, and we typically did it with stainless steel band clamp. Just like you go to a lumber yard, you've got lumber banded when they deliver it to the lumber yard. You can buy that same strap material in stainless steel. It's pretty strong, pretty corrosion resistant. We would simply strap this onto a bridge pier, and this was developed again as part of this NCHRP Project 2103 to provide a bridge deck serviceable installation, because I took the cap off, and when I pulled this out, you noticed it was red. This is an anti-fouling paint for tidal environments, just like someone's boat in a tidal area will get barnacles and other marine life growing on it. same problem with these transducers. And so we painted it with an anti-fouling paint. This is a transducer that came out of an installation in Florida. The anti-fouling paint has to be replenished every year or so. Unless you have a diver go down and take it off and bring it up to the surface, it gets to be a problem. And so this one was designed to allow, with a longer pipe, this pipe, the top of which would come above, say, high tide conditions. You would pull the cap off, just as I did, and extract this. You might even switch it out completely with a new one that's been repainted and go to the next bridge. Otherwise, you pull this one out, repaint it, let it dry, and drop it back in the next day. So this is a bridge deck serviceable sonar transducer mounting. This obviously is not going to work very good in a riverine environment where you have high loading from trees, impact forces that would crush something made of plastic. And so the ones that were installed in the riverine environments were actually steel, very ruggedized, some kind of a nose on it made of angle iron, a lot of times 8-inch angle iron, and the transducer would sit up inside that. You'd bolt that onto the pier. That would require some underwater work. You'd have to have a diver and a dive construction operation go underwater, actually drill and bolt underwater to get that transducer placed in a location where it's going to be able to take data almost year-round. Again, remembering that the transducer itself has to be underwater. That's the basic background of a sonar fixed instrument. They're good because they measure scour and refill. Some of the other instruments we're going to look at won't allow you to do that. They measure only maximum scour. But this type of instrument, any kind of sonar instrument, as that scour hole develops, and then if it fills back in on the recession, would be tracked by this type of instrument.